Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video this week. And from the title, I bet you guys already know what I'm going to be talking about, which is lash wrapping. What is it? Why do I use it? And how to do it? So today I just wanted to preface before I get into my video by saying that I am no extreme expert when it comes to lashing. I'm a lash tech that's been lashing for a little bit over a year now. Every day I'm still learning and I'm still willing to learn new tricks and tips. So if you guys want to, drop anything down in the comments, I'm all ears. And I just wanted to kind of clarify that in no means do I think I'm an expert. These are literally just methods and techniques that I have learned through my time of lashing that have worked for me. But every artist has their own technique, and you will find yourself through your own lash journey that you will be able to find ways to lash that are more comfortable for you and things that you find are easier for you, and which could be very different from me. So I just wanted to put that in there before going forward because I'm no expert. I'm just a girl making YouTube videos, hoping people can relate, and then we can build a community. Anyway, so getting into the topic of today's video, we are going to be doing lash wrapping. So lash wrapping is something I did learn a little bit in my course, but I did do further research through just watching videos and reading articles about what lash wrapping is and why it's beneficial. So as a lash tech, I used to do pre-made fans for a long time because my hands were hurting while I was lashing, and turns out it was just the way I was holding my tweezers, which could be a whole nother video if you guys really want. I was realizing that the retention with the pre-mades weren't what I wanted it to be. And it wasn't that they weren't lasting that long. They were lasting for at least 3 weeks, but when my clients would come back to get their refill, it wasn't as full as it would be if I were to make my fans as I go. So through time and practice and trial and error, I have been able to kind of figure out what method works, and lash wrapping is definitely the one for me. So what is lash wrapping? Lash wrapping is getting the extension into a fan. And so basically, let's say this is the base of your fan. This is the natural lash. You're gonna kind of shimmy the base of your fan onto the natural lash so that the other parts of the base kind of literally wrap around the natural lash. And obviously you can see by that attachment, because you're surrounding that entire natural lash, the retention is a lot better, just because it's harder for it to kind of pop off because it's so adhered onto there. Sometimes when I'm trying to remove outgrown lashes, that's the only downside. I find it's really hard to get off because it's on there so good. And I think that is why I kind of adapted to staying with lash wrapping. So enough talking, we're gonna get right into the demonstrations. I'm gonna show you how I lash wrap. I'm sorry if it's kind of hard to see, but I'm gonna do my best to film, and then I'll kind of talk you guys through it and then just give you a few examples. Alright, so here I am trying to demonstrate from a bird's eye view, and don't worry guys, I will be changing angles as well so you guys can get different perspectives. But do you see how I'm kind of shimmying the base onto there? And that's just to get that natural lash inside of that base. That's not the cutest lash fan, but I'm just doing it more for base purposes. I just want that base to be pointy. So can you see right there where the base is kind of moving and separating? And you want to make sure to really get those lashes far apart, the surrounding lashes, so they don't stick together. And you really want to get that base fairly pointy. However, they're not always gonna end up staying pointy, because sometimes when you shimmy the base around that natural lash, it tends to kind of separate a little bit, but that's okay. As long as it's dry and not too clunky, you are fine. But again, you don't want a square base or anything. That'll be very uncomfortable for your client. But as you can see there, that was a really nice wrap. And so this is the other angle, and as you can see, you get those surrounding lashes to be fairly far apart from each other. And We're gonna go in slowly and just place and kind of shimmy. And stay tuned, there's one other perspective that is gonna be lower if you guys are having a hard time seeing. So just stay tuned. But this is just to kind of show you like placement wise how I do it, and then sometimes I'll push it further down. So one thing you want to make sure is that there are no bases sticking up, and you really want to wiggle and push that extension down. So this one here you can see a lot better. And do you see how that base is actually wrapping around? Now that little flick you want to avoid at the very base of the base, I guess. You don't really want that part to be lifted up. However, because majority of that base of the lash was already on there, I didn't really remove it. But when things like that at the base tend to come up, it gives room for it to kind of pop off if it gets caught in your lash wand or when you're washing your lashes. So you just want to be careful of that. So this here, you can really see that base lifting where it wrapped around. So that's like probably the prime one, the best one I did so far. So already there you can see that the base is spread apart, but when you let go like that, they all kind of stick together because the glue adheres together. Again, wouldn't really recommend that bottom base where it's lifted a little bit. Naturally, if it was on an actual person, I would probably remove it, but because this is just for demonstration purposes, I'm just gonna leave it there. And there you go, that one's a really nice wrap around as well. So you can kind of see the technique that I'm going for here, and I'll just let you guys watch for the remainder of the video. But just really watch how I wiggle each extension on, and in no time you guys will be able to do this like super easy. Just practice, practice, practice. Well guys, I hope that I was able to kind of help you figure out what lash wrapping is by demonstrating and showing you guys. Obviously, like I said before, everyone has their own method, so you don't have to do this method, but I definitely recommend it. It's been the best for me, and I think that it gives you the ultimate retention if you're having retention issues, because this basically saved my life when it comes to lashing. Also, remember guys that when you're doing this, it takes a long time. Like lash wrapping, you have to really know how to isolate properly. You have to understand that you're gonna shimmy the lash base onto that natural lash. And that shimmying motion, that means that your glue is not fully dried yet, meaning that you need a glue that is not gonna be so fast drying. I'm able to actually do it now where I use a faster drying glue, but I can still get that lash wrap, and that's just because of how much I practiced and how much and how many clients I've had. So through that practice, I've been able to do it. But if you're a beginner, 100% recommend just getting a beginner based glue and then trying it that way. Trust me, I find that even with like glue that's for sensitive eyes that lasts like a lot less, have been amazing with retention with this technique. So I don't know, you guys, you tell me, you try it, tell me if you guys like it. Again, please leave any suggestions for any videos you guys want. And yeah, we're still in a pandemic, so still no clients, but once clients start coming back, you guys will be able to see the different techniques that I'm gonna be trying to experiment with when I get back to lashing. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate everybody. This channel is slowly growing. I'm still such a small channel, but the fact that I can see there's growth is very motivating. So thank you guys for tuning in and always being so supportive and being really nice. This community is really sweet. So, all right guys, see you next week. Bye.